Hey guys, I'm Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
That business with scalability was very interesting to me.
I like building something that has legacy.
Welcome back to another episode of Dubai Works Business Podcast. Today we're joined by Hamadeh, the founder and CEO of HD Smartglass. They are a UAE-based glass, aluminium and smart product services company. They execute products in and around the UAE since 2009, with its services spread into design, fabrication, and installation of glass, aluminium, and more. We're going to talk about the origins of HD Smartglass, the competition, the industry, and what the future holds. Good morning, Shad.
Good morning to you, sir.
Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been long overdue, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, it's really interesting for us to delve into this sector a little bit more and to talk about the success that you've had. So can you tell us a little bit about what HD Smartglass is and the backstory?
Awesome. So basically, I'm Lebanese of origin, obviously, and was born and raised in the UAE. In a competitive market like this, seeing how the construction and the infrastructure has developed year by year has been crazy. We're heading towards a very smart infrastructure year by year, and HD was basically born through a chemical that I have found and hunted, and basically that's called the liquid crystal. And so what it is that once you power it with electricity, the crystals really spread out and give you that clarity. And then once there's no electricity, they accumulate together and give you that privacy. And so once I studied it through 2 years of R&D, we basically put it and infused it in a film form, which is basically the reason why I believe is going to revolutionize the curtain and shutter industry. So in a modern day villa or office, people want to have an instant button giving them instant privacy and another button that gives them instant transparency. And for that, I've pioneered in it, and today it's called HD Smartglass for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now it's making a bit more sense. So we can get into a little bit more about the technical side of the product and what the future holds as well. So you kind of touched on a few things there of how glass is made and the background to the company. What was the business originally, and how does it look like?
So in 2009, initially started as an aluminum and glass company. I joint ventured with a partner of mine who initially had that aluminum and glass company. But obviously, once again, through my research and development, figuring out this chemical, I infused it as part of the initial construction company that was just dealing with aluminum and glass. And then we catered and created that product, which was relevant to the aluminum and glass, and turned it into a smart construction company.
Okay, so you've kind of pivoted a legacy business into
modern day time required us to become smart. Everything right now is pretty much headed towards that way, and it just gave me a great reason to infuse it in our traditional aluminum and glass company.
And what is a traditional aluminum and glass company? You know, do you have factories? Do you have?
Correct. So we have a factory. It's a double-decker. It's an industrial area, and basically we do
double-decker meaning
2-story.
And why is that important?
Because of you do need a big size. It's in-house fabrication. We're not just like your ordinary company that buys and sells, but rather we do everything in-house. And because of that, we consider ourselves a production facility, and that gave me the reason to obviously introduce that technology and enhance it and produce it in-house. So it's currently made in the UAE. To do that, it required a lot of facilities, a lot of equipments, and because of how big our factory is, we managed to do so.
Where is it based?
It's in Sharjah, Industrial 15.
And do you who do you supply to?
So currently, we're the government's favorite people. I would say so. There's a lot that I can't disclose, but we've done like Dubai airports. We've done 60% of the royal family palaces that you could think of. We've done big brands. We've collaborated with Supercar Blondie, Mo Vlogs, Anas Bukhash, and there's a lot of celebrities down the line that we're going to do collaborations with. It's just a very fun product. People are enjoying the essence of it. Just having that instant privacy and transparency is something that people aren't really aware of, and we're just trying to shift out from the traditional curtains and shutters that people really don't like to see anymore. modern day development, people enjoy the glass. They pay a lot of money for glass, and obviously we do that construction. But people want that instant smart activation, and we've managed to introduce that as a feature alongside the glass partitions that we create.
And the success of HD Smartglass, is that now the majority of what you do? Is that the main product that you sell?
Yeah, I mean,
90% or
so
more?
once again, year 2020 COVID period is when we launched it. People thought I was crazy for going all in on it, because construction had a very bad toll at that year. And I think I'd fairly say I was one of the fastest growing successful businesses at year 2020. And in a span of a year, we've managed to branch out internationally. And I mean, we're in 7 countries today.
Which countries? What kind
We're
of
in
region?
UAE, Qatar, Amman, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Miami, USA. And just 3 days ago, we signed a deal with our Swedish partner in Stockholm.
Oh, wow. And outside of the Gulf region, are they distribution partners? Or?
Correct. So we joint ventured, because obviously I can't really attend to every single country. It's going to be very hard on me. It's a one-man show, to be honest. So I joint ventured with very successful partners and construction companies in each country that I've just mentioned. And obviously we do our due diligence and we do a background check and see if they're fit enough to continue to raise the bar for our brand. And I've managed to do so across the GCC, America, and Europe, Sweden.
Do you sell online as well, or is it mainly through distributors?
We have a very high presence on social media. I'd say Instagram, to be more specific, and hence the reason why we collaborated with the names that I've just mentioned, Supercar Blondie, Anas Bakhash, Mo Vlogs, and the many more that are yet to come. We do get a lot of attention on Google. But yeah, I'd say those are the best 2 platforms.
So that's from a marketing awareness point of view,
Yeah.
but the transaction would be more of a kind of a B2B on the ground.
Yeah, B2B, B2C, yeah, but none that's done online, because obviously we have to send out our workers to the site, do the due diligence, do the production in-house, and then eventually come for the installation. So it's like very traditional construction, but we've infused this tech side to it and made it much easier to inquire about it online.
And so in the UAE, the construction industry is obviously, you know, the real estate and development is such a big part of the economy and such a big part of what's happened, the story of the UAE. So how was it like introducing something new into that space? And is it something that you found competitive, or did you have to disrupt anything? Or
Great question. So basically, I have a very high vision for this. I wouldn't want to say that I'm going to eliminate the existence of curtains and shutters, but I plan to do so. And this is the journey that I'm going to take after, you know, for HD. Today in hotels, you have, let's say, the master bedrooms and the suites. The divider between the bathroom and the bedroom usually is a glass panel. And what hotels do is that they install like a shutter, a manual shutter that you have to roll down and then roll back up.
Yeah.
And that's not really, you know, feasible or practical. So basically our target points would be hotels in that sense. And so here in the UAE, they're really cherishing the fact that you have instant privacy on a button. And so we're trying to close deals with big developers. And we're actually in talks right now with one of the biggest developers in the country.
Okay, amazing. So you're actually just fitting into an existing system. You're just a smarter, locally produced supplier. So you don't the construction industry here, there's a lot of big developers and they're all, you know, the futuristic ones are always looking for the best product and the best suppliers in market, and you're trying to fill that gap.
Correct. We have an upcoming project. I'm sure everybody who's about to listen to this would know that project, but by Burj Al Arab, there's the 9 exclusive villas that are being built there.
Yeah.
They're called the Quay villas. So we're powering all 9 villas.
There are a lot of them. It looks nearly finished. A lot of the structures in place.
So we're about to head over there in the next month, I'd say, to start fitting our technology there.
And that's when you get involved, because obviously you're part of the sort of interior fit out.
Correct. It's like the final touches that consultants and architects and interior designers want to see for the villa. You know, it's these final luxury touches. And we're always the ones to be there for them.
So you're not actually the glass, you're the layer on top of it?
Both.
You both.
So the technology comes in a film form and a glass form.
Okay.
So if the project is under construction, we provide the entire glass tech with the frame.
Yeah.
But if it's already a completed project,
you can do the film.
Correct. We layer the film, we retrofit it over the existing glass, and we do our final touches so that it looks perfect. And there's no way you'd be able to differentiate whether or not there's something applied onto the glass or not.
Okay, and when you say touch of a button, how smart is that? Do you have apps and things?
So you can either do it through a phone app, which is currently under process.
Yeah.
We have a luxury touchscreen remote, or we could just install it into an existing power
switch,
button. Yeah, correct. And then obviously if you have a smart home, which currently a lot of the villas and offices have built within, you can integrate it into your smart automation.
Yeah.
So now
you can say HD Smartglass, go dark, please, into Alexa.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what happens. Correct.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really cool. So you're still producing glass. You still have a factory.
Correct, yeah.
Like what kind of?
Just here though.
Yeah.
So with the partners abroad, they're strictly the film technology. It was so easy to scale and raise the bar for the brand, just because film is very easy to to move in the sense of logistics, and so that's what gave me that push to eventually go international with it. And again, in like a year and a half since the brand was established, in the span of a year and a half, I managed to move it all across the GCC. And then obviously the biggest challenge was to take something that's made in the UAE and shift it all the way to America, because usually what you have in a modern day business is that you bring stuff from the West into the Middle East. And so by reversing that, I take pride and I feel honored.
Amazing. And let's talk a little bit about that, because I totally agree. And I think what people kind of skipped over the years here is the manufacturing in the UAE as a thing, right? People kind of shied away from it. And even in the e-commerce space, there's a lot of drop shipping, there's a lot of things going on. How have you made it work? Is it from a margins point of view? How have you kind of understood the economics around your business?
The thing is, so we're still very limited with manufacturing in the GCC region, and to be more specific, in the UAE. So obviously I couldn't do everything here, and especially when you deal with like the liquid crystal itself, the chemical itself, there's a lot of regulations here, and you don't have that scalable factory that could help you exceed certain limits. And so that's when I outsourced the factory out of the GCC, did my research and development there, my trials and failures and errors, and the remodifications. And once the product was done there, we import the raw materials and then we reassemble them here. So we don't do the entire manufacturing process here. We do, let's say, the assembling part, and then the manufacturing process happens abroad. And then we merge those two to eventually make it easier and cater for all the GCC countries.
Okay.
Especially when you deal with America, like the American market, you cannot really spend that much money on logistics from the UAE to America. So you have to find like a median that could cater to all the world.
Yeah. But your intention is to be made in the UAE. So
yeah, I would fairly say everything is like, the thing is, the whole process of it was just continuous research and development. The innovation has been there, right? But it was a flop, big fail. So when I
in the industry or in your company in the industry,
in the world itself, the liquid crystal chemical has been there.
Yeah,
people didn't really know how to bring it to its primal, level, and that's when I did my 2-year research and development. And I failed so many times with it, because clearly I wasn't going to launch a business and start servicing clients or businesses and not really be certain about the product that I'm giving to the clients. Yeah. So because of my 2-year research and development, I ensured that whatever I'm going to offer into the industry is the legit form of it. And it took me 2 years to create the best and most enhanced form of it. And now I'm confident enough to say that we are the government's top leading HD Smartglass.
Amazing. Yeah, well done. Product. Great to hear. And the size of your team and the sort of growth, did you need investment in it?
No,
or?
So I take pride in this, and I'm going to actually touch a lot about this for the people who are currently trying to do something themselves. I'm all about the organic growth.
Reinvest.
Whatever you make. So basically, I JV'd with a partner here as well, right? So he gave me access to his facilities. There was no artificial pump in money, right? It was completely organic. Every project that I profited from, I reinvested in, and I grew slowly. And in that process, you learn so much. Had I got an investor and gave me, let's say, X amount of money, I would have had to start the level of success from that bar that he took me up to.
Yeah.
And I can't really see that high if I'm not going to understand the growth from the scratch.
Great.
So I'm all about that, especially in construction. You have to be very technical. One small mistake, there's a lot of liability on you and the company.
Yeah.
We started off with 5 workers. In a year and a half, we're currently at 50 employees.
50, wow.
50. Yeah,
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah.
And you're profitable? Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah,
and just touching on something you said about organic, do you think bootstrapping organic is almost you can test and learn as you go.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't put a child in the 10th grade if he's like 5 years old. You can't really do that to him, right? Especially because I said it earlier, it's a one-man show. So I didn't really have guidance. I had a vision, I had a product. It's time to really bring it to life. So I had to go through you know, the baby steps to eventually feel like I'm confident enough to go and do Dubai airport when I get a call from them, you know, to go do the ministry's offices, you know, once I get a call from them, to do His Highness's office, to currently do the president's villa. So like there's a lot of things that we're working towards, and holding that liability in these clienteles. You have to really be sure of what you have to offer, the time duration, the time period of when you're going to start and finish. You have to be very sharp with everything. And again, you could get lost. You could get lost so much with an artificial pump of investment, because you're there just to profit rather than executing a huge vision for the business.
But in the manufacturing space, and when you have to produce things up front with payments, like capital is important. How have you approached that? Do you work with lending partners?
Sure. So again, because it was a one-man show, and I had limited amount of money, let's say, to reinvest in the business because I was growing organically. The support of main contractors, consultants, interior designers, referrals, I capitalized so much on that. And little did I know that by doing one great job, that had opened 10 other doors unknowingly. So the references and the referrals were just, you know, the reason why we're still here.
Okay.
People really speak highly of us, and obviously with the social media support, again, working with big celebrities, having them enjoy that in their commercial spaces, it really gave us a boost of awareness for the product, because a lot of people thought it was just glass. So let's say you had glass in your house or office, people thought that we had to replace the glass. So with the awareness of, you know, it being a film and that being pasted on an existing glass, it brought us a huge amount of projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
From a kind of industry point of view, from a cost point of view, how do you compare? Is it something that a quantity surveyor would look like and go, those guys are more expensive, but they're better products, and do you charge per meter?
Okay. So because UAE is the headquarters, the lowest price for that product is here in the UAE. It's a little, I'd say it's 20% higher across the GCC, 40% higher in the USA, because of obviously taxes and logistics. Yet again, because we manufacture, we've reduced the technology price point. I'd say we chopped up 50% of what it used to cost to what it is today, just because we became hands-on on the chemical itself, the film itself, and all the raw materials that come along with it. So again, because of the research and development, I've managed to chop off 50% of what the technology should have costed. So you get the best deal ever.
And when people are, because this is a new product for a lot of construction companies,
right?
Are people, you know, say they already have glass in place,
right?
And they're going, that's an extra cost, because,
right?
Or do they compare it with shutters? And then from the other point of view, if they're procuring glass, do they then compare you with a glass supplier?
Okay, so basically we're not really to be compared with glass, because at the end of the day, this is like a technology that's layered over the existing glass, or it just comes infused in glass itself.
Yeah.
So fairly to say, it's irrelevant to what glass really costs, because it has an added feature to it, right? It's just not plain glass. It is a glass that switches from transparent to private. It caters to people's taste, to developers' tastes as well. A lot of developers that I know of really don't want to pay an extra buck to make their clients happy. We don't really deal with these developers. On the other hand, we deal with developers that really want to deliver such a amazing experience in a development, and those are the people that we really deal with. It fairly has its margin. It is a tech product. There is a price point to it. Once again, it's the cheapest they'll ever find with us, because we're manufacturers. I would say it's worth it, but at the end of the day, it just goes down to the customer himself, whether or not he wants to pay, you know, an extra penny to have that in the house.
But I guess there is some education on the buyer side in terms of, you know, the cost of blinds plus the cost of glass. If they put them together, then they would procure what
We're
you're...
somewhat competitive to that, but yet
Yeah.
again, because blinds aren't really a tech product,
Yeah.
there's no tech behind it. It's just very manual, very boring. Plus, once again, and if you realize, and I'm sure you being around Dubai and seeing like the infrastructure that happens here, everybody's capitalizing, everybody's paying a lot of money on jumbo glasses. They're just enjoying the existence of a lot of glass in their homes and offices. And people don't want to have this huge blind or curtain just covering up the entire glass creation in their houses. And so people want to enjoy having glass there, right? They don't want it covered by like this permanent colored, you know, blockage. And so by having a remote control that instantly just, you know, shifts transparent to private and still have that glass facade in front of you, people really enjoy that. And in modern day development as well, you see a lot of compounds being built. So you have a lot of neighboring villas. And in the UAE, we've realized people really suffer from not having a lot of privacy, given that the villas are right next door. And so there's a lot of blind areas in the villas, especially by the staircase or the main living rooms, where you could see your neighbors, and people don't like that. So again, it's another reason why our product is really scaled in the market, because they want to use that in certain areas that you really can't put a blind or shutter in, especially the staircase area. You know, when you have stairs, you get these facades by the stairs, and you can't really put a blind there because it's all concrete. So you need something like our product to be installed.
Interesting. Well, we've just finished a fit out of this studios, and there's a big glass.
We got you. We got you.
But do you see the blind? Do you see, so we had to get that tinted,
right?
And we weren't aware of HD Smartglass, but we were offered a few different. Is that a competitor, and how? You know, what's if we had HD Smartglass there? What would be the difference? Is it sun protected? Could we?
So it's a lot of advantages. First of all, it's a sustainable product. So basically, when the power is off, it opaques your whole glass. So you're on private mode. When you're on private mode, you resist 98% of sun UV rays. And by blocking that, you're basically securing your furniture from damages, because the sun is the reason why all your furniture gets damaged. Obviously, by blocking 98% of sun rays, you're also supporting by heat blockage. Not only that, if you have a projector and you project whatever visuals onto the panel itself when it's on private mode, it becomes a visual screen to put advertising videos, to showcase whatever it is that you want. Another cool feature that we've done.
How does that work?
So you got a projector that's on private mode. So let's consider a car showroom on Sheikh Zayed Road. They have all these glass panels, right, on the street side. At night, they close all the lights, the showroom is off. What they could do is have a projector, project whatever visuals of the cars they want on all the panels. And
from the inside or from the outside?
From the inside. Everything is done from the inside. And then you do a rear projection. So now all the people outside on the streets could see all the visuals of your cars and all the videos and all the graphic designs that you want within that visual.
Wow.
Yeah, and that basically costs you nothing. If you were to put an advertising panel, if you were about to pay for an advertising board, you pay millions of dirhams on Sheikh Zayed Road.
Wow.
But little do they know that all these panels now that they have already built within their showroom could be an advertising board for them legally.
So that's if it's 100%
opaque on private mode. Even when it's on transparent mode, the reason is that you just lose the laser focus of the projector, the laser beam of it. So once you block it, because it blocks rays, sun rays, light rays, it gives you the full visual video on the glass itself.
Interesting.
So you get that as an advantage. You get the blockage of the sun as an advantage. You can integrate it to your smart automation as well. And lastly, you could also do logos. So we've done any custom logo. You can have your brand logo, car logo, anything you want to write or do in terms of imagery or wording within the film itself, not the glass. So the film itself has a transition of logos that you can create any design you want. Yeah, they have to be structural. Yeah.
What about residential versus private versus commercial? What's the split?
We're on like a peak point right now. We're always like, both hotels. I'm about to get into the car industry, actually. We're about to do the sunroofs of cars.
Amazing.
We currently have 10 Maybach Vianos, you know, the Sprinter vans, the Maybach Sprinter vans. So we got a deal for 10 Sprinters, and we're going to do the panel that separates the driver from the client sitting in the back seat. You know how So that panel could either turn into a TV or just a transparent glass or opaque mode.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we're going to pioneer in the automotive industry as well.
Interesting. And so, how do you see so in your specific, we talked about the construction industry, but in your specific space, how competitive is it, and how many people are getting into kind of new smart products like this?
I feel like anything that's gonna come by the smart industry and construction is gonna raise the bar for us as well. Now you have like smart laundry chutes, you have smart lights, smart doors, smart cameras. Everything is going to turn into that. Everything. People just want to control everything within their fingertips. I think we're headed towards that. And I can't say we would welcome any competitors, just because, once again, they'd have to go through a lot of research and development to do what I did. It wasn't easy. It took a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time, a lot of studying. There was a lot of trials and errors, and yeah, it was bad. So yeah, I'd fairly say that we're the only ones in the world currently that's pioneering. You're always going to get the lesser models, the cheaper models, the ones that don't really sustain. They're not really practical. 3-4 months down the line, they're going to break out by color. You're going to have technical failures. A lot of these things really occur, and people are actually suffering from these fraud products, let's say. Once you really want to go all tech and smart, you really have to do your due diligence, really study what it is that you're putting, this much money on, and eventually take a decision. We don't really cater to people who are trying to save money. We cater to the people that really want to put in money for something that's going to last them down the line 10, 15, 20 years, and really, make use of it and enjoy the value of it.
Did you have to get a patent on it?
No.
You don't need to. It's maybe your product.
It's the brand.
Yeah.
It's the brand. HD Smartglass. I mean, there's a lot of big names. Again, I can't really disclose, but
you can trademark your brand, and then
correct. Yeah. There's a lot of people that want to do business with HD Smartglass. I mean, big brands that want to either, collaborate with us, have us sponsor them. Our Bahraini partners just sponsored their paddle tennis team, the HD Smartglass. Yeah,
nice.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. There's a lot. Yeah, it's becoming a brand. It's a brand. It's a culture. People understand the level of expertise our workers really have, and we're trying to raise the bar that way, because in construction it's a mess.
Interesting.
It's really a mess.
So talking about the smart home, because I find that super interesting with where we're headed, and to get your insight on that, irrespective of those who traditionally supply glass and construction, that this can be done afterwards. Do sort of manufacturing companies or technology companies that make products for the smart home, whether it's Hisense or Samsung, are they looking at this space as well?
I wouldn't say so, just because they're not really in that part or sect of the construction world. Like they have nothing to do with the aluminum glass part, right? So yeah. I wouldn't say so, but a lot of our high-end villas and palaces that we've dealt with, obviously we see these big brands, implementing their own products within it. So a really famous product that's really being built right now in hotels and residential spaces are like the smart mirror TVs. Yeah. So we do the mirror part, by the way. But
there's a company. I think it's called Mirror. Is it? What's it called? There's a fitness one in the US that's like
yeah. It has like your own PT through that mirror. Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, that's similarly. It's to what that
like
is.
That.
Yeah. But then obviously that's just a stand. What you're talking about is just a stand.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But like now they're using it in their living room to expose the TV, and then just fade off the TV by having that mirror, that magic mirror. So we do that magic mirror as well. But obviously the TV that we use comes with a collaboration with Samsung. So we have like an exclusive deal with Samsung. They end up supplying us X amount of TVs at any given time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can basically put your layer over a Samsung TV.
Correct.
And
correct. It's a little bit different than what HD is, because we have various products. Our main line of product is the HD Smartglass and film, but we also do magic mirrors, and that magic mirror is basically the fade in, fade out of what the TV is behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when people are looking, if companies like those companies are looking at what you described as everything is going to be smart in the home, would it not be a natural sort of thing for them to do? Oh, I already do appliances like kettles and microwaves.
Mhm.
How do I get into the bedroom? How do I do the TV area? So do they look at everything like that?
They do. Again, you got to understand that like construction now, there's it's two sides. There's no gray side anymore. It's black or white. So you have the traditional construction, you have the modern day construction. We're trying to really just transition from the traditional into the modern. There's a lot of old school engineers, developers, designers that are just trying to bring and continue to process the vintage, the classic vibes to the residential commercial space. We don't really cater to those people. We really see new day, modern day developments to be completely smart. And we work with big developers who are currently raising the bars and awareness for that. You could barely see, I was in Bahrain a couple of months ago, and there's a full smart automated building, fully smart automated building from the doorstep, literally all the way till you get into your bed. It is completely smart automated, and the experience that you get out of that is amazing. From face scans to the elevator knowing who you are, and then it knowing to what floor you're going to.
Oh, really?
Things that are fully smart automated building.
Good
And
morning, Shad, and takes you to the
will
42nd floor
literally
without you saying anything.
brews your coffee by the time you get up. Yes, this
Okay.
is where we're supposed to be at. People think it's not there. Like, we have the technology to make this happen.
Yeah.
But people are not like putting us on the spotlight just because the traditional people are still controlling the construction world.
Yeah.
So when they see a 28-year-old really trying to shift the process and transition it into a completely smart, controlled place, they're like,
And-
we're either with him or we're against him.
And do you then, the flip question to that point is, if they're not looking at the sort of glass areas, are you looking at other, your expansion plans, are you looking at kind of a vertical approach or a horizontal approach where you're going, what other smart products can I launch?
Correct. Every day, I'm on the hunt for the next big product that's going to change
In this
modern day.
category?
Yes. Construction is a big world. We all want to see beautiful towers and beautiful villas, and we all want to see how they look like from the inside, and we all want the clientele to really enjoy the space that they pay so much money for. People continuously disregard the fact that I'm going to make so much money one day, amen, just so that I could put, all that money into my residential space. And that's the place that's going to, cater to my environment day and night. So if it's not going to be something out of the world, then why am I going to pay this much money for it, right? It has to be something crazy. It has to feel like home, but I want it to be completely automated at the same time. I want to have that smart touch to it.
And when you experienced that in Bahrain, did you kind of think,
why isn't it here?
Yeah.
Why?
And would you do some
It's
of
bothering me. It really is.
Is it not here? Is there no?
No, there is not one full tower that's completely automated. No.
Okay.
They don't want to take that risk
But so say
because of technical glitches and whatnot. We're in year 2022, guys. People are going to the space. Like, we can't really create a smart automated building.
Yeah.
Damac right now is about to launch a project. I don't know if I should say this, but I mean, they're going to launch something similarly, villas, not buildings, but everything's going to be smart automated down the line.
They do a lot with NFTs and that type of side
Damac's
as well.
very, advanced. We love Damac, so they give us. They're always down to like pave the way for something new.
But so two questions on that sort of example you gave. Firstly, when you went through that experience, did you think that which product or which area did you say this fits like HD Smartglass? Did you say, oh, I might do another product around the coffee, or I might do another product around the elevator, or does it link like that?
So again, there's only so much that I could do personally for the business, especially because right now
you're focused on what you're doing, this product.
And then alternatively, the expansions are not really easy. It's very draining. Again, I have a very high expectation for my brand. The bits and pieces really matter. The details really matter. The training has to be done, and it takes so much time. Workers don't really have the capability of installing this, not unless they're under our program and our training. So that takes a lot of time. The partners have certain points that they have to dedicate and ensure within this partnership. So there's all these points that I have to cater for that's really slowing everything else down. But again, I feel like, by doing all this, ensuring the brand to be in various industries and markets and not just the local market here, everything else that I'm bound to do and introduce into the headquarters are going to instantly get into the international markets ASAP. So once I ensure all my partners are in great hands and the fundamentals and foundations are, built appropriately, any product that I'm going to introduce here, they're going to also benefit and when and introduce into their market. So first, I'm going to focus on that, the expansions, and then all the new products that I have yet to introduce into the market directly go international.
Yeah, exactly. Like R&D for new products, obviously, a lot of time and effort, and they could jeopardize you. If you've got something that's a hit, you can stick to it.
Correct.
Do you have visions of this, like being a UAE sort of brand that's consumer facing? Everyone has Apple as a North Star, but there's some cooler brands like Dyson, which was a vacuum, and then it became more products for the home. Do you kind of see that?
Yes, we intend to do that. We do intend to do that. It's just a matter of time till we reveal what we have in store for these departments and for these construction industries. There's a lot on the way that we want to introduce. We just need to make sure that we capitalize and really build on what is currently hot in the market, and that's the product that we're offering. Make sure that we continuously cater, even for the ones who can't afford it, to continuously ensure that our manufacturing plants are trying their best to reduce the costs of the chemicals, the logistics, so on and so forth, so that we manage to cater it to also the ones who can't really afford it, because not everybody can afford it.
It seems as if it is a premium product.
Yes,
like you described it as that dream villa kind.
So think about Dyson, right? Dyson's price point is not too high, like wow, way too high, not too low. It gives you the fair price of what it's actually
but
created.
I can purchase it in a store, in a mall.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about the price point.
Yeah.
Right.
But will you be consumer facing like that as well?
Well, you can't really buy our technology because you obviously need the installers. Not anybody can install it.
Yeah.
You have to have professional installers. Otherwise, you're going to pay for something that's going to get destroyed in a day or two. You won't be able to finish the process of the installation. So unfortunately, we can't. But we are going to be in exhibitions. We are going to have these face-to-faces with clienteles, whether it's on social media or in certain events, but obviously you have to go through the A to Z service from us, where you inquire it. We send our team to your house. They take the measurements, do the full site survey, and then we start producing in house and installing.
And how advanced do your customers need to be? Would I need to be technology savvy enough?
None. We give you warranty. The warranty really covers everything. You don't have to worry about anything. You like what you see, and you leave the rest on us. We'll take care of everything.
And what about plans for the future? Let's talk a little bit about the region. Did you grow up in Dubai?
Born and raised in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
I finished my bachelor's in the American University in Dubai. I did finance, completely irrelevant to where I'm at.
No, there's definitely a link. There's definitely a business link. But yeah.
Fair enough. So I graduated from Dubai, and then I always tapped into the e-commerce industry. So Instagram for me was like a very high. I was very enthusiastic about what Instagram has done, and this was like 9 years ago, maybe. People were just promoting their profiles themselves. It was like another version of Facebook, but I was like, why not try and introduce a business to this? And I had two very successful hit and run businesses, so they weren't really scalable. It was just a short period of time. You made enough money to eventually take it to the next business. So I was very e-commerce based, social media based. And then once I graduated, traveled to Lebanon to get a little bit of an insight to what my culture is, because I never really had the chance to grow up there. I was a born immigrant. Unfortunately, that didn't last. I ended up moving to Qatar, Kuwait, traveled to America and the UK a lot. Just took on my non-systematic route of being an entrepreneur. I told my parents this was it. This is your degree. I got you what you guys always wanted, but this is not what I'm going to do. I still need to discover a lot about who I am, and along the way, I'm going to make sure that business is part of it. And I just decided the moment you take a decision in life, something like this, you can't really graduate, get employed, and it's just my personal opinion. You can't really graduate, get employed, and then think of something else to do, because it's time consuming. Come on, you have a personal life, you have a career that you have to dedicate all your time to. So it's going to be really hard to shift into a different industry. So by taking the decision and sacrificing some time, especially because I had like the luxury of graduating at the year 20, I was 20 years old, turning 21. So I felt like I was still fairly young. So I took a year or two and I just scaled,
Definitely.
Yeah, started discovering new industries, and it just got me into various businesses.
Interesting. It sounds like you've explored a lot of the kind of region,
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Lebanon and GCC. What's your view of it? Obviously, the UAE economy is robust and strong and doing well. Do you see the Middle East as a business opportunity?
I feel like the Middle East is going to take over. What the West was, the Middle East is going to be.
Like Europe or the US? Or
Genuinely US.
You think it'll be that big? Like GDP-wise, economy-wise?
No.
Or
just I feel like we have a lot of, just allow the generations to grow here. Just give them some time. Yes, we're influenced fairly by the West, US. Just give it some time.
Yeah.
I do believe the Middle East has a lot to show.
Take over.
And I'm proof that, excuse me, I'm proof that I'm building a made in UAE product, and I'm taking it to the US, and I'm going to pioneer it there, and I'm going to be, the biggest business in the USA when it comes to this technology.
And
mark
you'll
my
do
word.
it from here.
Yeah, correct. We already have a production plant in Miami.
And so focusing on the region specifically, I love that sentiment. I love that approach and that mindset, and your evidence of a startup, of an entrepreneur who's doing that. But and why would you be confident? Like, is it that there's other like-minded people like you out there doing interesting things?
I fairly believe so. If I could do it, and I was born and raised here, and obviously given the great leaders that are raising the bars for this country in a span of 50 years, what they've done is just miraculous. To even be a small part of their vision is miraculous. And I just do believe that influence, that level of influence that the leaders of the UAE are impacting across the world is just miraculous. And I feel like the children of the UAE, whether it be locals or the immigrants, expats, we're off to something great. Just give it some time.
But you think that like digital can play a role, like in terms of spillover across the region, like new technologies can really drive the region forward?
Yes. Social media is something to really capitalize on in every single business. Even if you're selling a tissue box, if you're not on social media, you're not going to get that awareness that you're supposed to. That's where the level of impact the Middle East will have on the US or the West will happen down the line. We're going to have such a great presence on social media, or like say the web itself, that we're probably going to, start innovating a lot of things that the West is going to need.
Amazing. And
I hope so.
I love this positive sentiment to finish on. One last question. What else do you have in the works? What are you looking at in the future?
So I'm a guy that really likes to pioneer in every single industry. I don't think there's something that I can't really fit into and pioneer in. So I got 2 separate projects that I'm working on. So 2 businesses in the fintech world yet to be released. I can't really disclose much. Probably in the next 2 months, people are going to hear about it. 2 of these fintechs have never been done in the Middle East, so it's fully localized. And the other one is, fingers crossed, something huge in the medical industry. I cannot disclose much as well because of the NDAs that we've signed. But if that happens, we're going to empower a huge part in the medical industry of the UAE.
Wow.
Something huge. Like when I say huge, like it's diplomatically huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got fintech, health tech, and construction tech.
Correct.
The 3 big sectors to take on.
Yes. Those are basically.
Yeah.
That's
We'll watch and follow with interest.
Yes.
Well, thanks a lot, Jad. Really interesting
me.
speaking to you, and can tell that you're passionate about your business, and we'll be sure to follow in the future.
Thank you for having me. I
Thanks a lot.
appreciate you.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Have a great one.